Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. Good morning, my fellow Americans. Welcome to another episode of the Grassroots Army Podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Garrett Soldano, and I have a doozy for you here today. Like I always say, I can't keep up with the hot garbage that is going on right now. It's everywhere, that is for sure. And I'm going to lead off right off the bat with the state of California. You guys know how much I love my top three folks that I constantly call out: Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Gavin Newsom, and tyrannical, God, I'm not even going to say his name today. Trudeau. I'll mention it. Trudeau, the hot garbage, tyrannical ruler up in Canada. But we're going to talk about how California is now, under the leadership of Gavin Newsom, is a new Epstein Island with everything that they're trying to pass in California. It is crazy. And so I found this video early this morning at 3 a.m. while I was up working, that now their own party, listen to this, their own party is melting down because even the Democrats are scratching their head and going, hey, wait, this is not what I signed up for. This is wrong. So I'm going to show a video right now. The Democrat in the California State Senate, she calls out her own party over protecting sexual predators. And she quotes, or she says, and I quote, I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I don't want people buying little girls anymore. And I'm tired of saying it's okay and that we have to protect the men who do it. Holy cow. Let's get right to this video right now. Listen to this.
Mr. President and members, I'd like to say, as a progressive, proud member of this body for the last 12 years, I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I'm done. I don't want to send more black and brown men to prison. I don't want more people in prison, but I don't want people buying girls. I don't want people buying little girls anymore. And I'm tired of saying it's okay and that we have to protect the men who do it. As a mental health professional and as a social worker, I can tell you I've spent my entire career working with people who have been wounded. I'm not going to say beyond repair, but they have been wounded to their core by the abuse that's been heaped on them, oftentimes by those that they love and look to protect them. And if their parents won't do it, then by God, we should. Again, I am not arguing that we open the gates to flood our prisons with people, but I am arguing that we have a moral responsibility to say enough. Enough. We have given away enough on this area, and we've got to move back into the center, or we all look like fools and laughing stocks. And what do we stand for? I ask all of you to watch the documentary that Senator Grove was in, Senator from Kern County was just in, that talked about this very place in Sacramento where girls are being bought and sold. Men are being given a slap in the hand or a couple days, and then they're back out again, and they do the same thing. They get caught over and over and over again, and somehow that's okay. It's not okay. It is not okay anymore, and no more am I watching. Like I said, I'm leaving, but the rest of you who are going to be here for a while, let's get our stuff together and really start focusing on some of the important things. We talk about learning, and we talk about being safe. This is like at the core of it. And a lot of these kids can be throwaway kids. They're poor kids. They're kids of color. But they shouldn't have to live a life determined by what happens to them by others at a very young age, and by have the Democratic Party of California say it's okay. It's not okay. And I'm not doing it anymore, and I hope none of you do too. We have to be able to draw a line, and for me, I'm drawing a line. I urge your I vote.
Wow. Holy cow. Spot on. So it's pretty sad when your own people in your own party start calling you out for the hot garbage that you're trying to do in the new Epstein Island, California, underneath the leadership of Gavin Newsom. So moving on from that, let's go right into this young lady who gets very, very emotional. She's Canadian. Weird. So Canadian MP Laurel Collins She states, and you're going to love this video, that climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls, and I am widely emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. Listen to this lady. Holy cow, she needs a hug.
Off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the 2 children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And I hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
These people are nuts. Holy cow, are they nuts? Whenever they start throwing around their talking point words, existential crisis. This is an existential, I can't even say it. Oh my gosh. Widely emotional. Well, yeah. Yes, you are. Very emotional. A lot of passion in that one. So it's just, again, there's so much content for me to go over that I just can't keep up with it. I truly can't. Here comes one that is going to, well, we all knew this was coming. So let's break down. I got to be very careful so I don't get deplatformed on how I say this. Okay. So I talked about this long ago. I said, you watch. The very procedure that they're pushing is going to start to cause malfunction, we're going to call it. Can't say the word side dash effect, right? So the very procedure that they forced upon us is going to cause problems with people. And then all of a sudden, miraculously, they are going to come up with the cure for medicine to treat the very side effects that this procedure causes, right? That's the insanity. And this is why, like, you look at people and you run around and it's like we're in the Matrix and we're trying to take people's head out of the sand and we're shaking the shit out of them going, don't you see what's going on? It's right in front of you. Just open up your eyes. But people are so bought into this and scrolling through reels of chickens dancing and all these crazy people doing crazy things on social media. They distract everyone from what really is going on. And it's scary and it's horrible. And it's the definition of evil. It truly is. When they force something on it or obviously push something on it and give us false expectations, and millions upon millions and hundreds of millions have taken this, and now it's creating just a wide variety of symptoms and malfunction in people. And then they come out with the cure for it and the treatment for it. And you just scratch your head and like, don't you see what's going on? When in the past did they ever push treatments out on corporate media and advertisements for myocarditis in children? When have they ever done that? Now it's getting put out. So I'm going to show you a commercial that I just saw this morning. So look at this.
I've been into fashion since I can remember. But one day I had a stomach ache so bad I didn't want to do anything. The team at New York Presbyterian said it was actually my heart. It was severely swollen, something called myocarditis. But doctors gave me medicines and used machines to control my heartbeat. They saved me. So now I can become the next great fashion designer.
I mean, you just want to bang people upside the head. I mean, I don't even know what to say. And that's the whole thing. And I love debating this kind of stuff, especially when the research is not out, because I've been screaming from the rooftops, and I know a lot of you have too, for the past 4 years, of the narrative that was going to be pushed out and what is going to happen. I mean, all the lives are there if you want to go through the thousands of hours of footage of me throwing a huge hissy fit about all this, calling this out years ago, saying, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. And lo and behold, I've been proven right yet again. I'm batting 1,000, folks. Put me in the Hall of Fame in baseball, because everything that I have stood up for and continue to stand up for has, in fact, been proven to be 100% right. Everything, lockdowns, mandates, putting our kids at home, canceling athletics, causing mental health crisis, side effects, all of this stuff, proven right again and again and again. And it just rips out my heart when children are involved in this. And as everyone who is out there who are parents, and I'm sorry if you bought into this garbage and you did it, but my goodness gracious, don't keep your head in the sand any longer. Look what they're doing. It's right in front of your face. I don't know what else to say about it. I can't just scream from the rooftops and from my soapbox anymore about this. It's going to get worse. It will. And one day, society, if we last, will look back at this time and say, holy cow, what a clown show. What was wrong with those people? It's just, it's like we're supposedly the most educated we've ever been as a species, but we can't even pump gas, meaning we don't have any common sense. That's what it is. We're too smart for our own good, I guess. And we just can't look at things logically anymore. And these people, again, they follow aimlessly, like what the government tells them to do. And they think the government is their God. And it's frustrating. It really is. But I won't quit. I will continue to get on here as long as I stay afloat and call out this stuff, which I will never suicide myself. Let you know, I will not suicide myself ever. So, yeah, unbelievable. But after going through what we all have went through over the past 4 years, very believable. So I'm going to end on this. You guys know I've been standing up with a lot of other people focusing on school boards. And it's not hard. It's really not, because they just continue to give more content, and the Dems and this progressive left Marxist movement that wants to destroy our country continue to say it's okay to put sexually explicit books, aka pornography, into our school libraries. It's fine, right? So they keep pushing, and they say that it's okay for boys to use girls' locker rooms and restrooms, and for men to play biological men playing women's sports and so forth. That's all normal, because we have to violate the rights of the majority, so the rights of the minority, very few, don't get infringed upon. And that's not what the Constitution, even Governor Whitmer said that the Constitution is to be used as a shield to protect people's rights, not as a sword to take down some people's rights and others. It is to protect all of our rights. And when you use it as a weapon to take away rights of some and protect only rights of few, you jeopardize the rights of all of us. State Senator at the time, Gretchen Whitmer, 2009. Our nanny governor said that long ago, and that's exactly what her party is doing, right? So I'm going to talk about, and I've highlighted this school board, the Chippewa Valley school system in Michigan. There is a lot of folks standing up there. They've been standing up. Even 14-year-old girls are standing up over there talking about the clown show. But this school board is battling each other right now. And there's a Democrats, the majority of them, and there's a conservative, and they're clashing, over marginalizing students. So listen in. This is a 5-minute clip, but listen to this.
I kind of agree with one or two of the speakers tonight. One of the things regarding is the new public speaking rules, which I, as a board member, didn't even know until I showed up at the meeting last time. I also have to question why we have our attorney sitting front and center. That seems like a bad tactic. Regarding students, I do say that just by the pure definition alone, we have to say that 95% of our students at least are truly the marginalized students. The marginalized means putting aside, not getting special treatment, and that is like 95% of our students.
I had an opportunity to last week speak to the Iroquois Student Council. The other thing that I would mention is that I had to leave early out of the last meeting, but one of our school board members had mentioned that we as a community are marginalizing 95% of our students. And I guess I would like to have an opportunity to be able to ask, what was that? How are we doing that? So I think, Robert, you had made that mention at the last meeting. I wanted to ask you, just, here, you made this statement publicly, want to be able to ask that same question to you. How is the district, or how are we as a collective body marginalizing 95% of our students?
Well, first I have to ask, is this the proper avenue?
You mentioned it the last meeting.
I'm talking to our board president right now.
You don't have to answer it.
Well, I can answer it. I'm just saying I don't want to get yelled at again for this isn't the proper place and time.
Well, we're not going to have a monthly conversation.
Okay. Well, I guess first of all, I guess it's amazing that you say again that you've addressed our students, you've gone into our schools, and every time I do it, I'm attacked. But anyhow, by the definition of a marginalizing, I don't know if you ever looked up the definition, because marginalizing means to put aside, treat differently. And that is what we are doing to 95% of our students. Not certain little groups. They're getting the special treatment. It is the majority of our students that are getting marginalized. Now that explanation right there should be sufficient.
But
and if you don't understand,
how
maybe you should look up the definition.
But how are we marginalizing them?
I just explained that. Look at the definition and you would know.
How are we casting them aside?
By not giving them the same special treatment.
Who's receiving special treatment?
Dakota alone. During Pride Month, they have the Pride flag. They get to have all these little safe space stickers. I don't see any of that for Christian or any other group, Indian, American Indian. I don't see any of that celebrating for anything else. So those are marginalized students. When certain groups get preferential treatment and other groups don't.
These are student-led things. What are we doing as a?
Do you know the definition of marginalized?
I'm asking
I would
you.
like to ask you.
I'm asking you. These are student-led components. So I'm asking, what are we as a collective body, as a school
I guess
district?
what I would have to ask first is I would have to request that you go look up the definition first,
I
because
would
that
have to
seems to be
request
where
how
you're
you to
missing
give
the
me
point.
something that's substantive, how you could tell us that this district is doing
That
that.
is where you're missing the point. You don't know the definition of
No, the
marginalized.
point is that you don't know what you're saying.
No,
let's
actually,
stop.
the definition
That's
alone,
the
any
point.
dictionary.
The point is, you're saying things just to try to be gaslight and
That's
be
what I'm saying
exploitive
you
and
are.
be performative.
You're trying to get
Mr.
attention.
President,
You're
point of
trying-
order.
Actually speak of substance.
You're
That's
trying to
the
get
whole thing.
attention,
there
okay, and
anybody-
that's
is there
okay.
anybody point of
If
order?
you simply look up the definition of marginalized, you will find out an
Point
explanation.
of order. This
Point
is
of order.
not the
Very
point
clear.
of this.
He keeps
It's
on
very
talking,
clear
I'm
what
just
you're doing.
responding. Don't look at
Point
me,
of
look at
order.
him.
Kicking me out of the meeting?
I'm saying
Okay.
enough is
It's
enough.
very clear what you're doing.
I can't hear a word you're saying, but okay.
Is there anybody else on the board that has a comment?
Yeah, I'd like to.
We're not going to start up the same one.
So again, it's funny. And the gentleman who was arguing with the conservative, his name is Shannon King. He's only been on that board, I think, for over a year. And now he's running for Clinton Township trustee. Okay. He's a Democrat, obviously. And so that's what happens is when you question these things, you get attacked. When you ask a simple common sense question of what's going on, they get all emotional and they get angry because the guy's spot on. Hey, look, you are making policy decisions. You are giving special treatment for a very, very, very small minority of the student population. And who gives a shit of what the majority of the students want? And a lot of these students are just staying quiet because they don't want to be attacked and everything else because they're vicious, because you'll be labeled as a racist and a bigot and a fringe right person. No, hey, I'm just a Christian and you're giving this group special privileges and rights and you're allowing them to come into my girls' locker room and girls' bathroom, and that I don't feel that's right. You're racist, you're a bigot, you're transphobic, all of this. No, it's right and wrong. And so again, I'm going to reflect back on old Governor Whitmer and what she said. The Constitution is to be used as a shield to protect people's rights, not as a sword to take down some people's rights and others. It is to protect all of our rights. And when you use it as a weapon to take away rights of some and protect only rights of few, you jeopardize the rights of all of us. It's been very rare that I agree with what Gretchen Whitmer has said. I agree with her on this. Okay. There's another issue that I agree with her doing too, is she opened up nuclear plant in Palisades, which I called out. That's what I ran on. We need to get that puppy humming again. And she did it, which I agree with. So I'm going to give, kudos to when they do stuff right, but I'm also going to hold them accountable. And for her to switch her view on the Constitution is interesting because of what she did during the pandemic. I mean, everything that she believed supposedly back in 2009, she doesn't believe anymore. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So want to update you all on everything that's going on. The show has been nonstop. So I'll be live here, folks, around 8 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, just to keep up with the content. And we're everywhere right now, and all the platforms are exploding right now. Our X is starting to gain some traction. Our YouTube, our third YouTube channel, is starting to grow. Our Facebook, obviously, the 3 platforms we have on there are doing great. So our reach right now is hundreds of thousands of people across all of these platforms, and I'm not going to stop. I will continue to do my part and stand up for you, stand up for the ones who can't stand up for themselves, and continue to push this thing forward as a movement, as a grassroots army. And so, like I said, time and time again, it's going to be an interesting year, but continue to stand up. And for the school boards out there and for the people who are parents and community members that are sick and tired of what's going on in the public school systems, stand up, run for office. And if there's several of you, get together, have a meeting and say, hey, who's the best person for this job? Who's going to stand up for us? Who has the best chance of winning? And you guys got to work together, especially as Republicans, and not just fight amongst each other. So you have those meetings and you get the right people, and then you support those candidates, because we have to take back our local school boards. And I want to highlight what Benjamin Sawyer said, because I think this is very, very important, because he's right. All this bullshit is going to get us to choose sides and fight with each other, that the government's job to keep the herd divided. They don't want we the people. He's exactly right. They do not want we the people. They want to continue to have infighting within our own party. They continue to push. There are bad actors within our own party that I believe that they are Democrat plants that are trying to bring down our own party. And I'm going to bring a gentleman on here in the next several days that has some things to talk about, some possibly, allegedly, some bad actors that are doing just that. And so he's going to provide us with some information. So that should be an interesting show. So I'm going to get a hold of him today and bring him on either tomorrow or on Monday. And then I'm going to allow him some time to discuss what he has been finding. And he's been really focused on not only Michigan politics, but also Arizona. And now he's taken this nationwide. So he has something to say. So I'm going to give him some time to give you guys some information. All right. But it's your job to do your due diligence and check on these things. All right. So God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan, of course, and always God bless these United States. And I'm going to say this time and time again, if you're not on X, get over on X. It is a great platform as of right now, and hopefully it stays that way. So if you're on X, you can follow us at Grassroot Army, or just look up Garrett Soldano. I'll come up with Grassroot Army over there. And there is some really great conversation. It's pretty much, you can talk about anything over there. So there's information and articles and videos that I think it's very important for you all to go over there and check out. You have to get away from your own echo chambers. Like if you're only on True Social or you're only utilizing Telegram, man, get over on X. I mean, it's, as of right now, it is a great platform. And so follow us over there. Have a great day. Again, God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan, of course, and always God bless these United States. Until next time. Goodbye.